I'm Sean from Offload, Rugby Media.
This is Simeon, also known as the TikTok Ref.
Hi guys, I'm Murray, also known as Blissful Rugby HQ.
And welcome to Season 2
of the Rugby
Connection
podcast.
Hope you're ready for it.
For the fans.
By the fans.
Crowndown Croisal to episode 3 of the Rugby Connection podcast of Season 2. Gents, how are we?
Very good, Simeon. Thank you. How are you?
I am grand. Murray?
Yeah, I'm good. I know you've had a very busy day yesterday, as did I, but we'll get into that shortly. Yeah, not much more to say. I missed training this week because of the big old injury last week. Hopefully, we're on the mend and get going on Tuesday, but nothing more exciting than that. Few important calls regarding the show, but we'll keep that quiet.
Keep them under the radar.
That's it.
Well, I think before we get going, I think, Murray, we should explain what happened yesterday. Yesterday being Saturday, the 2nd of October? Yes.
Yeah, yes. October already. That's insane on its own. But yeah, nearly. Busy old day for us though. So got up really early yesterday. Went through to Curry Rugby Club to watch Mr. TikTok Ref do his thing for the under-18 game between Curry and Bigger. A bloody good game. Because I was a neutral and didn't have any leeway on either team, I just sat back and enjoyed the rugby, and it was great. For an under-18 game as well, it was so good. And the weather didn't help anyone, like Simeon said in his little interview with me yesterday, but you know what? Both teams definitely wanted that win. And Simeon, I'm just going to say it, you are actually a really good ref. I wanted to...
Oh, thank you.
I did have it in my head, I'm just going to absolutely rinse him on the show, and like, he's a shit ref. He missed so much. He generally missed nothing. He was so on the ball, and I love a referee that explains why this penalty was given. Simeon, unreal, mate. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a class game. I thought 21-17. It wasn't, when you say 21, it wasn't even free converted tries. It was penalties and it was they both really built for that win. 3 yellow cards in that game, 2 also bigger actually. I've been reviewing some of the footage. I've not got through it all, but I've been reviewing some of the footage. I was showing Sean and you guys as one, which we'll come on to Ref Talk and talk about later, but it's a bit of a could be red. There's one which definitely could have been a red, but yellow in the moment. But class game, both teams pushed their hearts out. And then after this game, where did we head off to next? I went up to my first experience of Duffers Park of Howard Fife to watch the first team play with Murray and Rachel, and it was a class game. Can't remember the score off the top of my head. It was like 70 something to 24. It was
so close. So close. 71-24.
There we go. It was demolished. He just demolished him. First half was quite close. It was a bit like could go either way, but it was a good game we wanted to see. Like, even obviously the losing team only scored 24 points, but they still scored 3 good tries. They saw some good tries there. So it was great to see. Great day out. Great food. But it was great to watch, be up there, be up to a different bit of Scotland I've never been before. And then I was back on the train and then ended up on a night out where about 10 people spotted me at Attic Club in Edinburgh and gave me hugs and said hello, knowing it's a TikTok ref. And funnily enough, I met someone in there who I refed earlier that day and said I had a good game. So what can you say? Good crack.
Not getting him into trouble, but if it was an under-18 game you refereed, somebody's either not 18 or has fake ID. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's what
I was thinking the same thing at the time. I was like, I'll go with the fact that he probably has a fake ID.
Probably. But yeah, so actually, Sean, he's lied about something, or not lied, he forgot to mention a key detail. So Simeon, for the first half at Duffers Park, for how first against Strathmore, was very quiet, like just watching the rugby, judging the ref, but rightfully so, because my God, that was, compared to Simeon's performance, yeah.
So I was just going to say, I still can't believe my ears from that compliment you gave him already. So
I know.
We've also, on this, we've got a new nickname for Sean. Shithouse Sean.
Shithouse Sean, yeah. Because we found out he's a scrum half. But he keeps saying that he's the nicest scrum half, but
Yeah,
we'll need to be there to see it.
yeah, I don't approve of that. It's factually incorrect, so I'm
But
sorry.
it
We'll
sounds
just have
good,
to-
so it's sticking. Out, sure.
I mean, we'll give you points for the alliteration. Other than that, no.
It sticks.
Yeah.
His nickname sticks too.
Anyway.
So Simeon in the first half, very quiet, like judging the ref, watching the game, like just like out of his comfort zone. Second half, he's roaring, he's shouting, he's doing the how chant, drinking beer, everything. It was unreal. Just don't know
There's a
what.
lot of drinking yesterday, wasn't there?
There's always drinking with Simeon now that he's a uni student.
Yeah, that's just a normal day in the life.
With the money I
Sean,
don't have.
did you have any game this weekend?
No rugby this. Actually, I had no
No.
training at all this week. Actually, I missed one because I was in Dublin and cancelled one on Thursday, and then we trained cancelled today as well. So been a quiet week playing wise, but lots of rugby that I got to watch, luckily, and lots to discuss. So looking
Good.
forward.
I should also, before we move on, mention that I have now joining up with Christoph and Cougars as well. I've just kind of went to their training session, went along, kind of unsure where I'm going to go with that. Might play the old game again, but I've done that. So lots has gone on this week. And more nursing, but that was about blood pressure. So if you guys need a help, I'm your man.
I do like this little detail that we've added in the show. Just something
What's Simeon done in
brief-
nursing this week?
just a little sentence what he's done this week.
This week it's been blood pressure and lungs. So
What's your
there we
drink?
go.
Your drink of the week before we
Drink
actually get into the
There's
rugby.
no alcohol because we're still recovering from yesterday. So on Coke Zero.
Nice.
Nice.
Actually,
No,
that's
zero,
one in my fridge.
zero sugar as well. Nice. Good boy.
Diabetic.
Right,
But
lads.
moving on, the Premiership. Now,
Yes.
I've not been able to watch much rugby this weekend, so our dear I've been a busy boy. Our dear Murray here will probably take us through the Prem.
Yes.
I've seen some of the scores and seen some things, but you crack on, my son.
Yes, I will carry us through the Premiership for the third straight week.
The Auchenbarry out.
It's not. I feel that was Welsh there, was it?
That was a bit more. I'm speaking very much Welsh today.
He's homesick. That's what it is.
Absolutely not.
Right. Anyway, starting on the Friday night, we had the West Country Derby, Bristol Bears versus Bath Rugby. Great game. Bath still without a win. Bristol finally getting their first win of the season. 25-20 to the Bristol Bears. It could have went either way. Bath were fighting right till the end. Will Muir got a double for Bath. Stephen Luatua got a try, so proper leading from the front for the Bristol Bears captain. 2 yellow cards for Bath in the second half, I think, was their big downfall. But you know what? Onwards and upwards. Both teams played a lot better this week. I know Bath still got defeated, but played a lot better than they had the first 2 rounds. Yeah, they will get there again. Bath are always a great team to watch when they can start playing their rugby. Not much more to say on that, and it's good to see Bristol up and running now. So yeah,
Happy days.
That seemed like a pretty good game anyway. So if you watched it, I don't think you got or if you were there, you got your value for money, I think so.
Yeah, sell out at Ashton Gate as well. So we've actually now got a sellout. So it's great to see that those days are behind us now. So it's truly onwards and upwards. Moving on till Saturday, Northampton Saints versus London Irish. Now there's a little theme here from Saturday's games and moving into Sunday's games as well. British and Irish Lions players returned.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan Biggar was starting 10 for the Saints. They just scraped past London Irish. They needed a late penalty by Dan Biggar. My apologies there. A late penalty by Dan Biggar to seal the win against London Irish. So that again, London Irish keep fighting to the death. We repeated it last week. They caught Sale off guard and got a draw out of them. But yeah, it was all about Saints in the end. Collins and Matty Proctor, who used to play for the Hurricanes, he was on the scoreboard. He is fantastic. He's so underappreciated. Nobody really talks about him. I love him. I love Matt Proctor. I could watch him all day. Augustine Karevi was actually on the scoreboard for London Irish. That was nice to see. But yeah, end of the day, 23-21 to the Saints. So that's 3 wins and 3. But losing bonus point for London Irish. We move on. Worcester versus Gloucester. It was Adam Hastings' first game starting for Gloucester. And he actually did make a difference. He was clean off the tee. Chris Harris came back from Lions duty, got himself on the scoreboard. A yellow and a red card was shown to Worcester Warriors in the second half. It was actually their captain, Tom Hill, that got red carded with 5 minutes to spare.
Haven't actually seen that red card.
31-23 Gloucester.
Was Zammit back? I didn't see.
No, he was not, but Johnny May was starting. So we're starting to get full squads back again. It's nice to see. But again, Worcester, they're just not quite thereabouts yet. Had a really great win in first round, pushed the champions to the edge last week, getting 2 losing bonus points. Sadly, nothing this week. But you know what? Still a great team, and they've still got the likes of Sutherland and Duhan van der Merwe to return as well. Just watch out for Worcester throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle Falcons versus the Wasp. Very close encounter. Seemed that Tom Willis of the Wasp had it all set and done for the Wasp in the 75th minute with a try. But Callum Chick had his own views on it, and Conan got the conversion, giving Falcons an 18-14 win over the Falcons, over the Wasp, despite being a man down after Tom Penny got red carded in the 55th minute. So that's a good chunk of the game.
Why have I not seen any of these red cards? I really need to find some of these.
You need to watch rugby, that's why.
I'm a very busy man.
But yeah, so...
Newcastle, having a good season so far.
Yeah, big old great... Adam Radwan didn't even be on the scoreboard this week, so it just tells you that you don't always need your star players to get the wins. He was playing, he just didn't score, which is fine. I mean, he's still three games, 2 tries. It's still great for a start of the season.
That's right.
Yeah. And the fact that they were against a strong team like Wasp who put an absolute thumping on Bears last week.
Aye.
A man down and getting the win. Credit. Fair play, Newcastle. Love to see it. That's just league is very up and down.
It's very mad this season, isn't it?
Yes, very top 14-esque, almost. Last game of Saturday, Leicester Tigers versus Saracens. Big, juicy game. Leicester, like the days of old. Saracens didn't play round 2 because they got a bye week because there's 13 teams in the Prem this season. But they kind of came back all guns blazing, like they never actually left. Very close encounter. Owen Farrell getting all the points for Saracens off the boot. A penalty try when the clock went red gives Leicester Tigers the win. Unbelievable.
That's so Leicester. That is so Leicester.
That's so Leicester. And if you've seen the clips on social media, that Captain Ellis Genge's emotion at the end is unreal. Like, if anyone that's good at editing can make one of those like rugby wallpapers, that's going to be a future wallpaper.
I think we also would like to also come around here to Leicester Tigers and say thank you.
Yes.
Saracens.
Yes, there you go. That's why you're up on the board. If you've not noticed, if you're watching it on YouTube, we've now got a URC team and a Prem team because both leagues are up. So, and I have too many jerseys on the show. So there we go. That's basically the end of it. I'm just basically trying to show you all my jersey collection without being smug about it.
That's the reason why you're on this podcast, Murray, to show off your jerseys. So
Someday buy me jerseys. That's all it is. That's all I want.
I just casually come on with a different one each week.
Yeah.
John just has a hoodie on.
Yeah, I have a jersey on underneath this, but I have to admit it's not a rugby jersey, unfortunately, for the first time ever, I think.
Oh, boo.
What is it?
It's
New York Giants NFL jersey. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, dear.
It's not even a good.
Before we have to commit something.
It's not even good NFL team. No.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, I'll give you that.
Anyway, moving on to more proper egg-shaped sport. As the great Jeremy Clarkson once said. There you go.
True.
Sunday's only game, Sale Sharks versus the Exeter Chiefs. Exeter Chiefs have got their first win. Getting my fanboy out of the way, we're up and running. But like the continuation of the theme of this weekend, Lions are back. Not all the Lions are back for Chiefs, just the one man, Stuart Hogg, back at fullback. Oh my God, he was out there to prove a point. He was on fire. Didn't score, but he made some great runs, stepping everyone like Stuart Hogg does. It's fantastic to see. He's obviously had his bashing over the summer on Lions duty. he's out there to prove a point, and it feels like Stuart Hogg seems eager this season to prove his worth. Big shout out for the man of the match by far, Henry Slade. 20 points for Henry Slade today. He was on kicking duty. I don't really know why Harry Skinner was starting. Harry Skinner's a great 10 and usually quite good off the tee as well, but Henry Slade on kicking duty today. Definitely got himself a try.
We love my favourite player, my diabetic.
Will Whitty got a great try. Never really see a second row run it in by grubbering it through, but yeah, kept it going and brilliant.
He's learned from his master, Johnny Hill.
I thought you were going to say me. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's all. We'll just leave that awkward moment out there. 25-15 win for the Chiefs. There was a red card in the game as well, Simeon. A lot of red shown. Johan van Rensburg absolutely smashed Henry Slade in the mouth, unwrapped, shoulder to the jaw. Away you go.
Yeah.
A lot of red cards.
Yeah. That one looked like a certain red card from what I saw. Yeah. Like,
yay! Sean's been watching the rugby this weekend. Yay!
I have. I mean,
I need to watch how.
You did, yeah.
I watched how.
You did.
I had a very busy day.
Yeah, I know. We're letting you off.
I watched a bit of two of the you whatever it's called. I watched two.
Whatever that one is called. Whatever that game is called.
So yeah, that is your round 3 roundup of the Premiership. It feels weird that we're round 3 on one league, round 2 on another, round 5 on top 14.
Yeah,
I think is that right? 5.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's your round 3 roundup. Any quick thoughts, lads, before we move on to the next league?
God knows who's going to win. I think we can just.
It's so open.
God knows.
Yeah, champions Harlequins got a bye this week. Next week, I'm at Sandy Park. I'll be proper in depth for a Premiership game. I can't wait. I'm on proper countdown mode now. I'm so buzzing.
Same.
You're not even going and you're buzzing. Thanks.
Yeah. But now on to the United Rugby Championship. You can take us through the games again. I have watched some of them. I know some of the stuff which went on there.
Well, we'll start off with Edinburgh versus Benetton. What a great game. 28-27 to Benetton. And
you were sat in the car checking the scores.
Yeah, we were checking the scores. We couldn't really watch it because I was driving, but it was a great game.
Died. What?
I'm not that bad a driver. Come on now. Don't lie. You've seen worse. Thank you. I mean, before we properly get into it, Ben Velcott, the scrum half for Edinburgh, man of the match for the second week running. He's just so good. It's unreal. But
potential Scotland caller?
Maybe. Who knows? Why not?
Let's just say yes.
Yeah, why not? I don't actually know if he's eligible. I think he'd have to be the residency rule. So probably not for a long time. But if he's eligible...
What is he?
He's English. He came from Wasps. He's a proper Cockney. Anyway, into the game. It was very close. I mean, WP&L got a try. Stuart McInally getting a try for Edinburgh as well. But the moment of the match, and I don't care what team I support, I'd happily lose a game to this. I sent you boys a very Johnny Wilkinson-esque drop goal by the 19-year-old Marin who came off the bench. So you lost Paolo Garbisi. Paolo Garbisi's what, 21? Marin is your new boy. You start him now. He's your one going forward. It was a massive drop goal. I think he was like on the 40.
Yeah, it was. It was beyond the 40, I think. And he made it look so easy. He made it look
so
like
easy.
He just breezed it. Oh, class. What a kick.
Beautiful. And you know what? If that's how you lose a game, fair play. Losing bonus point for Edinburgh. They played great. Mike Blair says that they're going to learn quickly not to give up opportunities like that. And I mean, he was miles away, but you wouldn't expect to chase down someone that far out.
Yeah.
But just remember, Benetton, best team in the world.
Best team in the world? Yep.
Best in the world.
Yeah. I think Edinburgh get 2 losing bonus points for that. I think they scored 4 tries as well and lost within 7. So,
even better then. So, yeah.
That's a good way to lose.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Ospreys versus Cardiff.
No, I did watch some of this.
There we go. So, Simon.
Gareth Anscombe is back. Was it? Well, he scored all 18 points. He won the winning kick. He beat the Blues. He beat the Blues. As a former Osprey supporter, that was a happy feeling seeing Cardiff lose. So much to the fact that I was messaging some of my Cardiff mates when I was a bit pished, shouting Cardiff shit down the phone. So that's fun.
Oh my. You're some boy, Simon. So yeah.
I am. But no, fair play. Ospreys pulled it through. Ospreys having, I don't know if it was 2 games, but 2 Welsh derbies from 2 Welsh derbies. Again, from a good standpoint, like, you can't go wrong. Anscombe hopefully will be looking back into the Wales squad. And that's a different type of Anscombe. It's not a let's score everything. It's we'll kick everything. Because that's not how Anscombe normally. He's normally a running 10. But no, fair play. 18 points for that man. And we'll talk about that potential red card if anyone saw that. There was a little thing somewhere I saw.
Yes, we'll get into that. We'll get into that in ref talk. Connacht versus the Bulls. The Bulls just don't show up in Ireland, do they? Because they started off strong. Like, they got off to an absolute fire.
Aye.
Try within like the first 2 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a great try as well. It was a great.
And then Connacht just turned on and went absolutely not. Kieran O'Halloran, got a little soft spot for him because he was on point when I watched him win the Pro 14 title at Murrayfield. He seems back to his good old days. It's great to see. Sean, you're the Connacht fan of the group.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it would turn O'Halloran. It was great to see him back because honestly, over the last 2 years, he's played minimal times for Connacht, and when he has played, he really hadn't been at his best. But he was brilliant on Friday. He was class, and I mean, it worked well. Obviously, John Porch was pretty much the starting fullback last year. He started on the wing, and that worked quite well. So I mean, that's a comment. And I mean, obviously, Mac Hansen scored. I don't know if you saw it, boys, but what a try Mac Hansen scored in that first half. I think it was the first half. I mean, Connacht, that's a brilliant starting back three. But I mean, even Alex Wootton and Matt Healy are still there who haven't been playing this season yet. So, I mean, it was a great win by Connacht. Jared Butler, Ulton Delan. Carthy was pretty good with his kicking. I mean, it was a great win. And as you said it there, Murray, the Bulls started off pretty strong. And honestly, I thought it was going to be a tough day for Connacht. But it wasn't even that the Bulls were that bad. I think Connacht were just that bit better than them. Yeah, if you get me. But I mean, the Bulls were poor in attack. They didn't really create too many opportunities. And when they did, they blew it. But that was great to see. And I think there was a couple of people there that I think if you were a Connacht supporter there, you would have been pretty happy.
Yeah, that's fair. It's good to see Connacht getting the win. We did say if they sorted their discipline out, they're definitely one to watch. And straight from the word go, they did that. So, yeah, we'll move on. Scarlets versus the Lions. Scarlet's getting a big convincing win. Yeah. Steph Evans scoring again. He just loves scoring.
Tom Rogers, another potential Welsh wing, played against Canada. Yeah. Good game as well.
Why not?
Wales have an abundant amount of wings.
You've got
Wales
too many
have
wingers.
So many wings. It's great.
Scotland have scrum halves. Wales have wingers. Ireland have
nobody.
Loose forwards. No, you have loose forwards.
Yeah,
coming out your bloody ears.
Yeah, back rowers. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Just frightening. And New Zealand have 10s just coming at them.
Well, so to be honest, so does Scotland and Wales have 10s, and Ireland too, really.
Well, Ireland are a bit of
Ireland aren't allowed new 10s because Sexton says no.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
get that man out of captaincy and put Ian Henderson in. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean Johnny Sexton will be playing for Ireland till he's 50 years old. So
yeah, so will Alan and Jones.
Yeah, Terminator.
Yeah, but one will be like because they deserve it, and one will be through stubbornness. I'll let the viewers decide that. We're not getting into that. That's up to the viewers to decide.
And if you comment the wrong thing, there'll be some angry people.
Pretty much. But yeah, Scarlett's bouncing back from that defeat to Edinburgh in the first round. Lions crashing back down to earth. I mean, they won comfortably against Zebra last week. Just wasn't meant to happen. And it's no disrespect to Zebra, but Scarlets are better competition than Zebra.
And I think, speaking of Zebra, was it 33-3? 35?
33-3 against Ulster.
Again, obviously, might have watched a bit of the Ulster game. No reasons why. But Poor first half, only 10-3. It wasn't Ulster's best game in the world.
Yeah.
They could have probably done a lot more and probably could have scored more. But they had if you looked at the team, there was a lot weaker team. Like McCloskey was out. They changed up some things to try some new players. Obviously, Cooney's injured a bit. So it was like that. But coming halves, 23 points in the second half. Bonus point win. Their defence was good. Didn't let them Zedbury score a try. So all in all, good work for Ulster. I think, obviously, I've said them as the potential champions, and they're withholding that so far for me.
Yeah, fair play.
Sorry,
Sean. On you go.
I was just going to say on Ulster, Simeon, you mentioned there, John Cooney was out injured, but Nathan Doak, he was Ireland under-20 scrum half this past year. He started at 9, and he also slotted conversion. He's one to watch.
He's good. He was doing the kick and duty in the Glasgow game for a bit as well. He slotted both of them from really hard. I remember watching him in the under-20s. He's a one to watch for. He's a good 9. Sorry.
Yeah, and he adapts to the play really well for such a young player. And also, speaking of young players, Ethan McElroy, he scored 2 tries for Ulster. So, Ulster just their future's looking bright. Yeah,
good.
Thanks.
Speaking, because obviously Simon has Ulster picked as his URC champions. My pick for the champions, Munster. What a performance against the Stormers. They were 15-0 down at one point, and they just came crashing through. Said, nope, we're winning this. It's on our home ground. It's a fortress. And we mentioned him last week, the axe murderer, RJ Snyman. He single-handedly bumped off 3 Stormers and got over the line.
Yeah, I think...
Tucked the ball in one arm and just used the other arm. Nope, get out my way. I'm scoring. Good luck to anyone wanting to stop him. And,
single-handedly was the great way to describe that.
Okay.
I want to win for Munster. Like it looked pretty ominous that first half. Like you said, 15 down, 15-7 at the break. They luckily crawled back, which they needed. But the Stormers, in fairness to them, they were pretty good that first opening quarter. The number 10, Lebok, he missed a penalty and a conversion at the start of the game. But he was pretty good running. But I think they took him off after like half an hour or something. They took him off pretty early.
Really?
Yeah. That was a bit of a blow to his camp. They brought on Tim Sweel. He's you know him, you probably recognize his name.
I know the name. He played in Europe, didn't he, for a while?
I think he played for Quins for a stint, I think.
Yes, Tim Sweel, yeah, he did.
Yeah. But he came on at 10. Gallant, he was at fullback. He scored a try. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right. He was in the South Africa squad in the 2019 World Cup, but he scored a try. He was good. The Stormers, they have a bit to take away from that,
Yeah,
pity that they lost, but hopefully they can get a couple of wins later on the season.
Yeah. Speaking of South African sides, constantly improving, but just not getting there yet. The Sharks, they got defeated by Glasgow this weekend. Glasgow were on fire, though. They were wasting absolutely zero time. Ross Thompson, you know the man. I'm banging on him all the time. Scores a try in the first minute underneath the sticks. Cole Forbes getting a double. There was one that was very lucky. He kicked it through. The ball bounced like straight up, and he just happened to it kind of caught the Sharks fullback off guard the way the ball bounced. Cole Forbes took full advantage of that, and you know what? Who wouldn't? Anyone in that position would have took full advantage. But that's good to see Glasgow bouncing back after they narrowly got defeated by Ulster last week, and what we discussed was such a good game for an opening round of a tournament. And it is good to see Sharks did improve. Just again, not there yet. I do feel, even though the South African teams haven't won a game yet, well, apart from the Lions last week, I feel once their internationals are back and the regular starters are back, they do not sleep on them. They will be out to hurt people and prove a point why they're in the league to begin with. So
I just don't think they'll be able to. I don't think any of them will be able to win the league, because by the time their players are back in December, they'll have lost so many games.
Yeah,
that's my theory.
Did you boys hear as well during the week that there's talk that the South African sides might not be able to play their games at home at all this season or until next year?
Because of South Africa's COVID crisis is horrendous.
that would be a hammer
Jesus.
blow to their chances. Like that would be like their home games would be ones that they'd expect to win, and if they're not even playing them at home, makes it a lot harder.
Absolutely. Where would they be looking to play their games?
There was talk of them playing in Italy. I think I heard somewhere that there was some crazy reports that they were going to be basing, or one of the sides, or I don't know if all of them or one of them that be being based in Croatia or something like that, but I don't know how feasible that is. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Italy is probably more likely, but
Yeah, because they'll have stadiums. They have a lot of rugby. They do have, even though they're a football nation, they do have a lot of rugby stadiums. So
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Italy could do with a little bit more teams, so why not?
that'd be nice, really. And what are we on last? Is it just Dragons Leinster?
Dragons Leinster was the last game.
The
7-6.
scoring 7-6.
Yeah,
I think
6-0 at half time to the Dragons. Leinster get a try in the second half. Done. Pretty much. That's nothing more to say. Tells you,
as I keep saying, Dragons are on and up. They've held Leinster.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on that. The Dragons will. I know they'll hate not to have won that game, but they'll take that. And that Dragon, if you look at the Dragons team, I saw it come out, and I was like, they're going to get pulverized. They missed in a lot of their key players. They were missing Jamie Roberts. There was a few other backs they were missing. Actually, their back row was class, to be fair.
Yeah.
The Dragons back row is a thing. It's Ross Moriarty, Will Griffiths, who not many people know about, but he's a class 7. And Aaron Wainwright. That could be a Wales start. That could be a Wales test start in back row, couldn't it? So I think Dragons will get there. I just think they've had 2 very hard games to start off with.
Yeah. I mean, Leinster were also very poor. Like the amount of simple handling errors that they had and losing the ball at the line out. Their set piece was all over the place. Like, I mean, credit to the Dragons. The Dragons' defense was excellent. It was class. Like they really shut down Leinster. The amount of turnovers they won at the breakdown. And their kicking was pretty good. Like tactically, they played the game well.
Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a pity. Like the Dragons, see Leinster at the final few minutes, right? Leinster had the ball. They were attacking inside Dragons half, like 45 seconds left. And I think, who was it? Was it Gibson Park or I can't remember who it was, or Nick McCarthy? They decided to kick it away. 45 seconds left on the clock. It was like during the Six Nations, the amount of times that happened this year. And then Dragons had it. Yeah. Dragons had it, kicked it away again, and then luckily Leinster either knocked it on or something, and Dragons had the ball back on halfway. I was like, come on, Dragons, please win, drop goal or something. They couldn't make anything happen.
Imagine, that would have been beautiful, but let's not dwell on
that. Sorry, guys. Sean has just said something that means pointed out yesterday in the car ride. Sean says that he wants Leinster to lose in that, but he goes to the Aviva wearing a Leinster top, and probably.
It's true. I do want to see Leinster lose, and I will wear a Leinster jersey. So
he's a fraud. So he is. Nice.
I am a fraud. I'll put my hands up.
Look at more shithousery from Sean.
There you go. See.
Shithouse Sean.
I'll put my hands up. I am a fraudulent Leinster fan. So
actually, that's a good thing. You can be a spy.
Yeah.
There you go. Go to Sports Ground with Kyle and.
Yeah,
Leinster has been doing this.
So I had that close eye on Cian Healy last week, so I'll give that back to Andy Friend next week. So.
Aye. And
like that.
On that, how is the top 14?
The top 14. Well, I mean, every week it seems a bit of a theme that there's always upsets, and there's more upsets once again. I mean, in fairness, Murray, you alluded to earlier that the Premiership is getting a lot more like the top 14, which is great to see. And I mean, I think that's why those 2 leagues are up there with the best leagues in the world because of how close it is between all the teams. So some of the shocks: Montpellier, 21-11 win over La Rochelle. La Rochelle have had a pretty poor start to the season. I think they've only won 1 game so far.
Ronald Gar's going to be pissed.
Yeah. Don't mention that name on this show.
Oh, that's very funny. Yes, he will be very pissed. But Brive had anyway, back to the rugby. Brive had a 19-12 win over Stade Francais. Brive are
they going to win the league?
I mean, why not? Let's no. I thought we said Biarritz were going to win the league. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but Yeah, but Biarritz used to be like in like Heineken Cup finals and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But and then I suppose another shock. Pau 29-14 win over Perpignan. Perpignan obviously beat Toulon last week, and Pau breathed. These teams, they're probably more touted to finish at the bottom of the league, and that's a pretty good win. And then for the last shock, which I don't know whether this will be surprising or not, but I said it there, Toulon lost last week to Perpignan. This week they were beaten 27-16 by Cast. So that's that's a pretty big upset. And then in just other results from this week so far, Bordeaux had a 20-15 win over Lyon, and Toulouse had a 17-11 win over Biarritz. And in that Toulouse game, Joe Decore, who came off the bench, got a red card.
Oh no! I'll celebrate too early.
You thought I was going to say that he scored a try or something there.
Yeah, I love Joe Decore.
No, he was a naughty boy.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. And then Dupont came off the bench, and he pretty much scored the winning try. Now, it was 20 minutes left, but he wasn't even himself, and Intermac weren't even starting. Both came off the bench and scored the win for Toulouse. So, yeah.
Says something unique about them too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot. But, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy league and plenty of upsets once again.
All right. And then on to our internationals with the biggest...
Yes.
Actually, no, we'll do the other fun first. Australia v Argentina.
Yes, all I need to say for Australia, Argentina, Andrew Kellaway, hat-trick hero, unreal. Just whenever he has the gold jersey of the Wallabies on, or the nice, I actually like it. Not many people like it. The green Indigenous kit that they've got this year.
I love it.
I like it, but whenever he's got Wallabies colours on, he scores for fun. It's unreal, and Quade Cooper again controlling it off the tee. Crevy getting on the scoreboard. Yeah, it's all good though. It's great to see. And again, I said this in my little 3-minute review on TikTok, but I do really feel for Argentina. Like they are so good. It's the competition that they've got. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to say it the way I have to say it.
Yeah.
It's like Italy in the Six Nations.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's nothing against Italy. Italy are a very good side and are on the rise. It's just compared to the competition, they're not there yet. That's all that is.
I mean, that's just facts, Murray. Like Argentina have just been poor. Like it's sad for them because you like Argentina putting up with a shock win every once in a while, but this Rugby Championship campaign has been terrible. 0 wins.
It's been horrendous.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Another game me and Murray sadly both couldn't watch.
I've seen the highlights, so I'm up to date. Don't worry.
I haven't. Why not?
I will watch rugby in my sleep if I have to.
I didn't have time.
I find a way. See, when you message me at 3 a.m, Simon, and drunk out your face, I'm ignoring you. I'm watching the rugby. I'll actually know a wee bit.
Murray's grinding. He's watching all the highlights, even from
Didn't steal any traffic cones last night either. Didn't.
What?
I didn't steal any traffic cones.
Ooh,
You're not right. I need to point this out because
I mean there is one in my corner.
You're not right. This is what I was want to mention. It's not meant. You're not meant to keep it.
You are.
It's not a pet. I mean,
you steal it.
You do.
You steal it for a joke. But that's the funny bit that you've stole it. Yes.
Then you put.
Then no, you don't keep them.
You keep them and then turn them into Christmas. You turn them into Christmas trees.
How cheap? How poor are you that you can't get a Christmas tree?
We want to turn a traffic cone into a Christmas tree.
There's one on like a $5 on FacePay for crying out loud.
But it's more fun to make it a traffic cone Christmas tree.
No, just no. Anyway, back to the rugby because you've actually hurt my head with that one.
Well, speaking of the boys in green.
Boys in green, yes.
There we go. Brought it around, lads. It's all good.
Bocca are back.
What a win.
Yeah.
What a fantastic win. At the death, Andre Pollard wasn't the hero. Monty Stein might have been the hero in the Lions series, but this time, Elton Yanchis, unreal. A drop goal to almost give them the win with minutes to spare. Jordy Barrett came back with a minute left in the clock to say, nope, this game's ours. And then in the dying, last kick of the game, Elton goes, nope, this is Fox win. And 31-29 to South Africa. Granted, New Zealand do still win the Rugby Championship. Well done to them.
South Africa also back of the top of the world rankings.
It's just going to go like this until the World Cup.
We don't talk about what Wales is.
You were in it for a sniff and a sneeze, and that was it.
No, I'm saying we don't talk about where Wales is now. I'm Scottish.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Scottish Ireland now. Don't know what the other flag was. This is where I'm at now.
You have actually moved. I've just noticed that. The Welsh flag is moving on show right now.
What's Wales? This is the new Simeon.
Okay. We'll go with that. But anyway, great game. And what an opener to the game. New Zealand won back the ball, went to clear it. Lucanio arm ripped it, cheeky out the back, out to Delandi, over. Love it. It was simple, it was filthy, it was lovely. Mwah! Chef's kiss. It was. You could quote that if you want. Make that a t-shirt. Simple, filthy, lovely.
Yeah.
Blissful Rugby HQ. There you go.
Happy days. Well, it wouldn't be a podcast about us talking about our favourite thing, refereeing.
It's not my favourite thing. I've watched enough of you refereeing this weekend.
I know. But we are going to go into ref talk. Now, I haven't seen a lot of these red cards and stuff because I haven't. Busy.
Clearly, Murray's compliment goes very, very far.
I know. It only goes so far, doesn't it?
Oh, you wouldn't know he was genuinely a great ref.
I think we'll let Murray do his ref analysis of the TikTok ref now.
No, yeah, you're actually quite good. You were very vocal. I know you're not mic'd up because it's a youth game. I could hear what you were saying. I knew why penalties were given. I thought it was funny that the Curry captain kept rubbing your back.
Yeah, and then I got tackled at the end of the game. I positioned myself wrong, and they drove around, and I stood in a place thinking they won't go this way, and then I just fully went on the ground in white kit.
No, I did wonder that because I seen you running about at the end, and how is his kit dirty? But there we go. But yeah, you know what? I genuinely wanted to come on here and wind you up something rotten and point out something that you missed, or just something just completely make it up. There was a high tackle and someone played on. He generally didn't even put a foot wrong. There was players mouthing off. One more time.
Your favourite player.
Oh, I'll get on to him in a minute. But no, there was players mouthing off at Simeon. Simeon's like, keep going and you'll be off. Take it through your captain. Explained why there was yellow cards. There was a brutal tackle that you've already sent me. It probably should have been a red, but I get why it was.
We'll go through it in a minute. In a minute.
There was a particular young man that was very mouthy, and if I was in Simeon's situation, that'd be a red card because I was getting fed up of listening to him bitch and moan.
Well, you said you heard what he said, but it was on the other side of the pitch to me, so I couldn't hear it.
Can I say it? We've not got parental controls, so Curry had the ball. I don't actually think they were going to score from this. This boy on Curry was convinced that they were going to. Simeon brought it back, and all you hear is, "Oh, fuck's sake, ref, we had it in, fuck off," and they just went ape shit. And I was just like, "I'd go away. I'll have you sent off so quick, it's unreal." But Simeon never heard it, so
yeah, would have been a red. But in that game, we had three controversial yellow cards. I think everyone agreed with the decisions on field. I think neither team were complaining what it was. We had first red card, player went in, got lifted above the horizontal, landed on his shoulder, neck, head area. It was kind of hard to tell what the first point of the contact was. Initially thought it was really weird, but there was no force in it. The law is you've got to put a player down gently. He did put him down gently. It was just above the horizontal, and it was in a dangerous position. So that's why I went with yellow card. If I gave red, I feel that would have been a very, very harsh red card. I don't think it would have helped the game either. Second one was the one which had Player went in, no arms. I've watched back the footage now, and he came in from distance too, which is more why I'm thinking it would have been a red now. It was the first point of contact. You can't tell if it's shot. When I saw it as shoulder to shoulder, then up to head. Well, they actually were shoulder to shoulder, then head. They both clashed heads, and they both had to go off. And obviously, the one who made a tackle was yellow carded. But watching it back, I gave it no arms and high, but watching it back, it probably should have been a red card, but it was just one of those ones. I put my hands up. Could have been yellow, could have been red. You needed 101 TMO angles on that. Last yellow card was, I said to the captain, never penalty in the red zone, yellow card. And someone high tackled seatbelt tackle. So you could have even given it a yellow for the seatbelt. So it was kind of like, well, that's definitely a yellow. So off you went.
There was one thing that you found difficult. Sorry to interrupt there, something. And I do agree with you because I don't know how you managed it. So one team had yellow and black on, another team had red and black on.
And when we mean they were black kits with just little bits of yellow and red.
Both black kits, yellow trim on one side, red trim on the other. So
there was one decision. I don't know what went on in that ruck. I just said ball unplayable and just gave it to one of the teams because it was just such an awkward one, like that I just couldn't do anything with. But it was a good one. Little things I always want to talk about is offside. That game had a lot of offsides, and this is general. I've noticed this. It's at under 18s level in Scotland. This seems to be a big issue. I don't find it at the adults, but at under 18s, players are just not. They're being lazy and they're not getting back on side. In adults, in first team rugby here, you tend to see everyone gives an extra yard. So you take an extra step back, means you can come up faster, and it's never in doubt of mind of a referee that it's a offside. But these teams were coming just flying up early and just or standing just in front of your sideline and just feel like easy penalties. That was the biggest issue. We did have a 30-15. I was off 30-15. A 30-15 is a fitness test. A 50-22. Murray, it happened right in front of you. Class.
Yeah,
kick.
it was class.
A 60-meter kick.
Probably further than that, but.
No, it was. I've checked the footage. I've watched the footage. It was a 60-meter kick.
We could have played the South African rule. Like that was a high up pitch. My God, that altitude on that was unreal.
It was. Just got it right behind the fullback. Obviously, I haven't watched much rugby this weekend, but what I've seen, there was I think it was Seb Davis, the Blues Ospreys, dropped his shoulder into Reece Webb in a ruck.
Oh.
No one saw it. I've watched the footage. It's hard to see. Like, I understand why all parties missed it. Like, it was in the middle of a pitch, and it was a hard one. Watching it back, it does look a bit deliberate. It does look a bit bad, and probably should have been a red card. But what's happened. Didn't affect the game. Osprey still came out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of could be a ban, this is definitely a ban. We discussed that a few weeks ago. In the top 14. The cast lock that absolutely munched the scrum half for Bordeaux that weekend. 12-week ban, rightfully so. Don't be a dick. Don't tackle like that. Simple as that. Sorry.
I made the video on it saying this is the first major incident of something like that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not really seen. So I think maybe if it happened a few times, maybe it'd be an 8 or 10-week ban. But because it's such a new fit, or it's such a weird new red card reason to give one, I think it's just trying to be stamped out. You do that, you're off for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah, but I think that is me done and dusted. And I believe, Sean, question.
Yeah, question for this. In fairness, thanks to everyone for putting in your questions this week. There was actually loads. There was some pretty good questions that are probably going to be missed out on this week. So hopefully they'll get asked again on the podcast in the future. But the question.
Did we get a World Cup question? Because we said no last week, no World Cup questions.
We did, but it was a good question. It was a good question. Yeah.
Right. Do
you want to go through that question as a bonus question?
Yeah, if they're both good questions.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So this one on the World Cup one was from Cam Daniel. You know Cam Daniel, he makes a lot of South African. Yeah. So his question was thoughts on why the Southern Hemisphere hold almost all World Cup titles, and what do teams like Wales, France, Ireland, etc. need to do to win 2023? I think that's a good question.
Ireland need to get to a semi-final first. I had to. I'm sorry, Sean.
Regarding the South what's it called? The three major ones you want in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa is one is genetics. They've got freakish genetics. I think that genuinely, that's not me taking a piss take. They've got genetics. They, especially New Zealand and Australia, NAF players from the other Pacific nations who are good enough and are brilliant.
Yeah,
Jonah Lomu, I mean, old ones obviously, but there's many to call upon. And place like South Africa has the second biggest playing pool in the world, so purely on numbers. And then New Zealand, it is just lived and breathed, and there's no other sport which comes close. It's just simple things like that, really, isn't it?
It's kind of like the old Olympic thing, like when China wins it, like you're the big, like it's a big country, like you're bound to find someone that's good at sport. Like someone said, like South Africa's very popular with it comes to rugby. So you're bound to find people that are good at it.
Technically, England should have won every World Cup because their player pool is so much bigger than everyone. Even South Africa's is massively bigger than South Africa's. They should have won every World Cup statistically, but they didn't.
I mean, even though New Zealand, although rugby is like a religion over there, in fairness, the same can't really be said for player pool and stuff. Obviously, with New Zealand has this like the same size population as Ireland, so
it's small, but I think it's just more for living and breathing. Obviously, with Ireland, you've got other sports people go into like hurling and GAA. Yeah. So, but I think with New Zealand, it is just rugby. I mean, I know they do well at some other sports, but it does tend to just be rugby. But everyone does sport in general there.
I think another big point of like why World Cup winners are predominantly Southern Hemisphere, just the coaching staff. I know that sounds a bit vague, but like look at the coaches that were behind those World Cup winning teams, and they're special.
Most good coaches seem to be. I mean, even like the ones who come over to the north, Eddie Jones, Warren Gatlin.
Yeah, Eddie Jones was 2003 finalist with Australia.
Exactly. It just. I mean, you have to get candid to play countries like Wales, Ireland, Scotland. They've got no play. I mean, effectively, their population of players, especially in Scotland, when football's such a big thing as well. There's not players, and it's amazing how well our three nations get on.
For that part of the question, I'm gonna agree with you, but also disagree with you. Well, not disagree, but I'm just gonna look at it from a different angle. I think skill set is one thing that I think it has kind of won the likes of New Zealand and Australia Australia won a couple of World Cups when they won it. And South Africa, in fairness, it's just their skill set and kind of their attacking mindset. Now I know the same can't really be said for it can be said for South Africa, but obviously they pride themselves on a strong set piece and strong scrum and big ball carriers. But skill set I think is one thing. Just that kind of attacking mindset. Then for the second part of that question, what do teams like Wales, France, and Ireland have to do, lads? Simi, do you want to take that?
But that was just, kind of as I just said it, we need more players, we need more people, we need to find more depth. Obviously, I think our three nations, if you look back 10 years ago, the amount of depth we've got on positions, like we were saying earlier, like 9 in Scotland, 10 a wing in Wales, loose forwards in Ireland. They're everywhere, aren't they? So I think it's purely just a population thing. Like they could win a World Cup, but it'd be a lot harder for us to do it, and we've got less players to call upon. So, I've just think back to the World Cup, like when Wales got injured, like when wingers got injured in Wales, we had to call up Owen Lane. Like now, yes, Owen Lane would probably be a good thing, but at the time, he barely got on a cap for Wales. I don't know if he had a cap, he had like one cap or something, and they had to drop in World Cup. If a winger went down in New Zealand, you'd be able to find a winger with 20 caps. And to be honest, the standard of club rugby is so much higher. Even if they'd never gotten a cap, they'd probably just fill in just fine. I think that's where that depth thing comes in. And even with England, I'd say the same with England. Like, say, like when one of their wings goes down, they've got many people to call upon.
I think in our one, and I think it would be more like for how England managed to win the World Cup. I know it wasn't predominantly because there's only a Northern Hemisphere team to do it, but I mean, so England won it in 2003. I mean, look at the European champions in 2000. The Leicester Tigers were dominating. So if you've got club success in the country, your country tends to do better. I know that's hard for like
Doesn't go for Ireland, unfortunately.
It doesn't go for Well, Wales is the opposite. When our clubs
Wales
do
is the
shit,
opposite, yeah,
we
you're
play
proper
well as
shit.
a national team.
And then there's Scotland that kind of balances what I've said. Like when Edinburgh got to like the Challenge Cup final and Glasgow winning the Pro 12, Scotland were on the rise, and then the club started dipping in performance. Scotland dipped again, and now we're back up. But it is a 4-year cycle for a reason. Like there's a lot of ups and downs. That is a good question. That's going to keep me thinking.
I mean, you never know. We could get to next World Cup and it could be 4 Northern Hemisphere teams in the semis.
Exactly. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Good answers.
What's your other question we got then? The actual liked one.
Yeah. So the main question was from Shane Pedlow Fitness. Who would win in a Heineken final? Prime Leinster versus Prime Toulon. Champions
Prime
Cup.
Toulon.
Prime Toulon. It's Prime Toulon.
I would say Prime Leinster. I think Prime.
Boo!
Yeah. No. I genuinely believe.
No. Sean is back.
No, I mean, I genuinely mean that though. Leinster 2012, 2011, 2012, or even 2018, I think would win that clash.
I think Prime Toulon just because they were the first to win back to back.
Yeah,
it'd be a great game if we could ever get that. I'd get tickets.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you're looking at, like, just think of the battles across the field. There, you've got Sexton versus Wilkinson. You've got Gordon Darcy.
Halfpenny versus Carney.
Halfpenny wasn't in the European team for Toulon.
Yeah, it was.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, it was. He won one of them. I know he won a championship with Toulon.
Yeah, I think he might have been one of them.
Yeah, but not prime Toulon.
Yeah,
like,
they won the European Cup. That's prime Toulon.
Yeah, no. This was like when they were. No, this when this. This when this.
Did they win the best trophy in Europe for a club team? Yes.
No,
was Halfpenny on it? Yes.
The Challenge Cup. No, okay. No, but like the era when like Wilkinson, Ghetto, Habana, Drew Mitchell were all Bastero, Bakis Botha.
Yeah.
Bloody hell! I'm just rattling off some of these. Carlos Heyman. Who else was there?
God knows.
Was Chris Masoli? No. Chris Masoli? Was he on the team in 2020?
Chris Masoli, yeah, number 8, yeah. Chris Masoli, yeah.
Halfpenny.
Juan Smith. Juan Smith on the flank. Oh, it's a frightening team. But like you said, like Leinster, like Cian Healy, Leo Cullen would have been in team back then, and also then coached them as well. So, and then you've got like Jamie Heaslett, Sexton, Gordon Darcy, Brian O'Driscoll,
Isa Nasiwa,
Rob Kernick. Yeah, it's very juicy. I would say Toulon just. Yeah, and I think it would be poetry in motion. I think it would be a Wilkinson drop goal that would win it.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, I can't disagree with the logic behind that, but I would back Leinster. But anyway.
I would happily, if we could go to see it, I would happily just sit and just.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wouldn't even matter who won. It'd probably just be a great game.
Exactly. I couldn't care who
get
won.
Nige to ref it. Prime Nige to ref.
Yeah.
I'll go and touch.
Wayne Barnes on the other touch. There you go.
Huh?
Wayne Barnes on the other touch.
Yeah.
So we've got the Heineken Champions Cup final. Prime Leinster, Prime Toulon, Prime Nige calling it. Barnsley on one side, Simeon on the other for reasons.
Prime Simeon is drinking in the nightclub. That's Prime Simeon.
we need Justin Marshall on commentary because we need Southern Hemisphere. I don't care if it's a Northern Hemisphere competition. We need Southern Hemisphere commentators for that.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in the best stadium in the world, Murrayfield. That's all I'm saying. See you later.
If it's a rainy day, the Principality.
It's nice and toasty in the Principality when it's raining. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Any big stadium. Crow Park, actually. There you go.
Yeah, that would be nice. There you go.
It's historic. It only gets used for
Kingspan.
Shut up, you. bloody
Don't ruin it for me. Come on.
gone from 80,000 to like what?
Belfast.
12,000?
I don't
12 is it 12,000 at Kingspan?
It's not big.
Nah. Put it at the damn health. No, don't. Don't put it at the damn health.
Oh man.
Just
Yeah.
that just all that. If we could write that in the stars, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Indeed it would be. But I think, lads, we will wrap it up there.
Yes.
And join us next week for episode 4, where there might be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a surprise.
There's definitely a surprise next
Definitely
week.
a surprise. It's definitely a surprise. I'm just thinking what's on next week, just so the viewers know.
Internationals are gone.
That's it.
No sevens, so it's just club rugby next week.
Yep.
Just
Prem,
club rugby. But
Prem,
thank you all.
URC, top 14. Maybe some women's rugby. Oh, Exeter Chiefs women got a big win this weekend.
Yeah. Murray will be able to give us his rundown of Sandy Park.
Yes, and I cannot wait. I'll proper go for it.
But join us next week, and diolch yn fawr iawn.
Song of all.